This is Chapter 1, an algorithmic version of Exercise 1-9. The problem reads, answer the following questions. Hint, using the accounting equations. Part A, as shown on the screen, says, at the beginning of the year, Chan Company's assets are $282,000. Its equity is $211,500. During the year, assets increased $80,000 and liabilities increased $45,000. What is the equity at year end? To solve equations like this, it's handy to first write up the balance sheet equation that assets equal liabilities plus equity. Next, list what the balance sheet equation in dollars were at the start of the year. Here we know that at the beginning of the year, Chan Company's assets are $282,000, so list assets of $282,000. And its equity was $211,500, so list that amount as well. Then to solve what liabilities were, since that number wasn't given to you, simply take the total assets of $282,000 minus the equity of $211,500, and that tells us that at the start of the year, liabilities had to have been $70,500. So let's enter that now. But things changed during the year, so let's enter the amount of these changes. During the year, assets increased $80,000, liabilities increased $45,000. But we're not given what stockholders' equity was. But the changes had to have occurred in balance as well. So if there were $80,000 in asset changes, creditors had claims of 45 of those changes. The balance must be stockholder claims on those asset changes. So let's take $80,000 minus $45,000. Then during the year, stockholders' equity must have changed by $35,000. Let's enter that. So finally then, to solve what the balance sheet equation would have looked like at the end of the year and to specifically answer the STEM question, what is the equity at year end, we can now take the beginning, add or subtract the changes to determine what the ending balance sheet account amounts were. Assets of $282,000, short for $282,000, plus 80, short for $80,000, means that assets at year end had to have been $362,000. Liabilities, $70,500, plus the $45,000 means that liabilities that at year end should have been $115,500. Therefore, how do we solve what equity is? You can do that in two ways. One, by taking the beginning equity plus the change, or taking assets at year end minus liabilities at year end. Let's do it that approach. Take 362,123 minus 115,500, and ending stockholders' equity had to have been $246,500. We can check our work. And for Part A, we have that correct. Let's move on to Part B. Twitter has assets equal to $150,000 and liabilities equal to $110,000. What is the equity for Twitter at year end? Well, hopefully you realize this is pretty straightforward. It's just simply back it into the amount of equity. So we'll take the assets of 150, short for 150,000, minus liabilities of 110, short for 110,000, and equity had to have been 40 or 40,000. Check my work. And indeed, we have Part B correct as well. Let's move now to Part C. At the beginning of the year, Pandora's liabilities equal $45,000. Notice that's written in the balance sheet equation. During the year, assets increased by $60,000. Notice that's listed as the change or the increase of assets. And at year end, assets equal $190,000. Oh, we know what they were at the year end. We know what they were at the beginning, so surely, at the change, so surely we can back into how much they were at the beginning. How much did they had to be at the beginning of the year? Well, 190 minus 60 is 130,000. Liabilities decreased 17,000 during the year. So they were 45, that's given to us. They decreased by 17, so at the end of the year, 45 minus 17, we can take the calculator, 45 minus 17, they had to have been 28,000 at year end. Now we could solve what equity was at the beginning, during the change, and also at the end of the year. So assets of 130 minus liabilities of 45, or 130 minus 45, equals equity of 85,000. Let's do the ending number next. 190,000 minus 28,000, or ending equity must have been 162,000. So then, how much did stockholders' equity have to have grown or changed during the year? Well, we can back into that by taking 162 minus 85,000 and know that stockholders' equity had to have grown by 77,000 during the year. Another way is taking 60,000 minus a negative 17,000, and that also would give us 77,000. Let's do it that way as well. Take 60,000 minus the negative 17,000, which is the same as 60,000 plus 17,000, or 77,000. Let's check our work here. And indeed, we received correct answers for all of Part C.